Ever since I came to Ozone, I've always been curious about Earth and the time before we came here. I really hope my thoughts will be useful for future generations. Maybe they'll treat Earth better, different. Then they won't have to come back here, because honestly, sometimes it gets kind of lonely. The year is 2129. The race against the ecological clock was lost. Hence, Earth was no longer viable, and mankind was on the brink of extinction. After years of thorough research and experimentation, Ozone, a tech company specialized in transhumanism, found and perfected the means to relocate human consciousness to a virtual plane of existence in order to escape Earth. Presiding governmental entities ordered an immediate worldwide relocation to said virtual planes. The process was simple. Each individual proceeds to the nearest Ozone facility. After signing a waiver, each person entered a conservational vessel and were hooked up to an alimentation system meant to preserve their bodies in a viable condition, while their consciousness was cast into a virtual realm. In other words, the body was left behind on Earth in a dormant state, while the mind defected to a new intangible location. As it stands, upon entering the Ozone, there are two distinct realms. The first, a common area; the second, an individual area. The common plane is a space overseen by Mother, an AI. Due to her apathetic and semi-sentient nature, she is able to keep human inhabitants in line and act as a bias-free and perfectly rational peacekeeper. This space allows for people of the Ozone to interact with each other and socialize. This reality is shared. Everyone beholds the same social status, and there is no hierarchy among humans. In the second realm, things are very different. These spaces are individual realms, where humans develop their own realities which are tailored to their liking. However, the price to pay for such a perfect reality is that of isolation. Each individual lives within their perfect truth, but they are the only one experiencing it, as it is impossible to cross over with other inhabitants, given that their realities are incompatible with each other. The inhabitants have the possibility to hop between two realms. They are faced with this incessant struggle, though. Live in an ideal reality, but face isolation and risk your sanity? Or spend time in an imposed reality and live with your comrades? It is up to the inhabitants to manage their time spent in either spaces. However, there is always the risk of getting stuck within one's personal reality and losing oneself. Mother is everywhere and nowhere. It's hard to describe. I don't know where she ends and where I begin. The boundary between her and us has become non-existent. She saves us from ourselves. I can feel her sometimes, in the back of my head, at the tip of my fingers, inside my chest, like a gentle pressure within me, reminding me of her presence. Sometimes it feels like I'm connected to the ground I stand on, as if it's entering my mind, becoming a part of me. I am the ground. I am the buildings. I am the trees. I am the sky. I am Mother, or Mother is me, or both. She guides me. She guides us. We trust Mother. She knows us better than we know ourselves. According to a very distant relative of mine, Amelia, what happened on Earth was that people did not heed warnings of rising global temperatures. For years, world governments ignored the information scientists published about humans interrupting ecosystems. She told me that by the year 2100, the fabric of society had completely unraveled by something that should not have come as a shock. At first, agriculture took a massive hit, resulting in low fertility and yields. Earth could no longer support its population. At first, there was an enormous food shortage, and then came the violence and breakdown of communication and transportation infrastructures, resulting in homo homini lupus on a massive scale. But out of this chaos came a solution to save humanity from extinction. People were sent to Ozone, finally becoming one with technology, giving Earth time to heal itself. These were found on Earth, and I have found descriptions of them. I've tried to reproduce them. These are personal areas my friends have described to me. The first one is Felix's. He really wants to go back to Earth. He doesn't like being in ozone. The second is Liz's. It's quite a small room, but is perfect for her. Ali's bedroom is quite traditional, but she likes it that way. Maya's family is originally Japanese, so this is the perfect onsen she would want to live in. Satir's personal space is a space meant for meditation. Realm jumping has a very unique sensation. It's difficult to describe. I guess it's comparable to entering water. It's like walking through a liquid wall. It feels slightly cold, but only for an instant. I linger there sometimes, in between two planes. Karma points are the currency of ozone. To acquire them, inhabitants have to work on their passions. With these points, they get access to the designs made by others in the common areas. This archive, or book, is my work, my contribution to society. By writing this sentence alone, I'm achieving karma points. People don't wear clothes in ozone. It depends on your body, on its deformities, on the shapes you decide to give to it. This is a picture I took in a common area. The current trend is having spiky excrescences. I found a note from someone named Sheena. She must have been one of the original ozone inhabitants. In her note, she describes her experience of the realm shift. According to her, it was a rough and traumatic experience. Within ozone, gender does not matter. Mother can mix the DNA to create an offspring from whoever wants to procreate, may it be two men, two women, or a man and a woman. When people in ozone decide to have a baby, they call upon Mother, and she initiates the process. Then, 3 years later in Earth time, when the child has reached the age of 12 on ozone, the child is delivered to its parents. At the age of 14, once the child has spent 2 years within ozone, it may then choose its gender. I wonder if the flowers on Earth still look the same, or if they even still exist. If they do, they've probably evolved. The flowers in ozone are different. They've been designed by someone. They have an Earth-time life cycle, meaning they sprout and start to wither within a matter of hours within ozone. The same relative I quoted earlier, Amelia, owned 2 of these cats in her real world. I believe cats used to have personalities on Earth, but they don't on ozone. They also have these shapes growing out of them. They're completely hairless, much like a sphinx, I guess. I've heard that on Earth, they used to have fur, and actually used to make sounds as well. I think we might be going back soon. Mother sent 2 people to Earth yesterday. Unfortunately, I'm too old myself to be sent back to Earth, but I hope someone will retrieve my writings and learn from it.